This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this quick little live trading session. Just want to point out what the markets are doing. And I'm sure we all are watching it and understand that the Nasdaq is leading us up again. Definitely super strong. If you look at this, here, we got this V-shaped recovery pretty quickly. The Nasdaq is probably feels like it wants to hit back to all-time highs before the end of this month. If I go right here and kind of like bring this together here, let me do that one more time. You can see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 straight days up, and for the Nasdaq, it's not, it's not big days up, but it's starting to add up, right? And it seems to be just disconnected from um, what's going on in the world, in my opinion. But you've heard me say that the last several times we got on the call. I wanted to jump on, see what's going on with this account. I mentioned yesterday when we were doing the morning briefing, the Monday morning briefing, that I put this in to come to me. This is the euro, and so far it has made $31 in one day. It was up $50 a little bit ago, about 40%. Gonna still let that bake, and we are looking at this natural gas position here. This natural gas position, I believe, was put on recently as well, and it's basically obviously completely flat to this point. And this Nasdaq position, this Nasdaq is obviously going up quite a bit. This was a position we put on last week. It's down about $35 right now. And if we go to the trade tab just to see these deltas on this and go to the call side, obviously first, because that's what's been threatened. So that probably put this on at the 15 delta. It's now at a 23 delta. I'm still going to let that sit until it gets to a 30 delta. The put side on this is quite a bit away. Might consider rolling it up a little bit. Let's see if we can do this in concert. This is a 74.50, 74.20. So this is a 30-point wide spread. Let's see if we can move that up a little bit. When you're doing it with Tastyworks on the options on futures, once again, you have to do it in concert because they do not let you do it. So for example, if I try to do this and let's just say that's a 30-point wide spread, let's say I wanted to bring this up to the nearest 7 delta to add the money and keep it 30 points wide and look at this. And after I do it, I get $9. That's not very much. Just in case it does work now, let's move this up to let's move it up a little bit more. So let's go to the 9 delta here and 30 points wide still. Let's see if that gives me a little bit more. That's pennies, right? So, but let's just check and see if something is working here. So you see as it got rejected over there. So the only way I can roll this up to get the capital that I want out of this is to buy this back and roll it and then do it into 2 steps if I wanted to get this, because it's not, I would have to go too high. So in this case, if I wanted to go to all the way to the 12, nearest 12 delta and do 30 points wide to keep it the same spread, then this right here would give me, now that's going to give me $34. That's still not a lot of money, but that's over 1,000 points lower than where it's at right now. So it's probably to my benefit to roll this up. So let's do that, and that's buy that back. It's 1 contract, and let's see if we can get filled. Let's move it down to 80 here and see if we get filled there.
Brian.
Yes.
Hey, this is Brittany. I have a quick question. Why are you, instead of letting it sit there, why are you thinking of rolling it up?
So great question, Brittany. I'm thinking about rolling it up because I can get some more premium, and this side is being this side is in our yellow area. It's a 23 delta. The Nasdaq has just been going up, so I'm trying to get a little bit more delta just by doing a standalone roll up. I'm not going to do a roll away or anything like that. This is not helping me anymore. It's so far down with 38 days to go. So if I roll it up, I can get some more premium. And when you get more premium as an option seller, that always reduces your risk overall. So let's say your max loss is 200 and you collect another $30. So now your max loss is only 170. So you're reducing your risk. That's why I would want to, that's why I'm trying to roll up. Is that clear, Brittany?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let me see this Nasdaq. I thought I wouldn't be surprised we come in one day, like I was saying yesterday, and down 200 points on that. But see, it's like this is frustrating because it's making you go to a dollar, and it's not. And it's up, so you still can't get out of it at the right price because it's 38 days to go, and they're forcing you to get out at prices that you don't want to get out at, even though it should be, this should be an easy get out. But for demonstration purposes, we're going to try to do this. Frustrating. All right, so we're gonna do this a little. We're gonna go to the one. And come on. All right, so it's gonna force me to get out of this a little bit higher than I want to. So let's see here. Look at that, it's taking all that little profit away. All right, so let's try it one more time here and try to the 110. All right, so now let's go up, and I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive than what I showed. So I'm going to go to the nearest 15 delta, and I'm going to sell that, and we're going to see it cost us about $22, I believe it was 23. So 68 minus 23 is 45. And I'm going to do something that I don't tell you guys to do very often, and that's increase the spread. I'm increasing the spread because it's going to still give me a credit, and I'm getting a little bit more capital on this roll up. So I went from a 30-point wide to a 40-point wide, and I'm going to see if I can get filled at that. At the 15 delta, still about 1,000 points lower than what it's currently trading at. So they're not going to give it to me at that point. So let's see if we go down to the 80, see if they'll give it to me. So I understand why they wouldn't give it to me now. The market, the Nasdaq is moving up quite a bit again, and all right. And as I move this, it moves with me. All right, so we're gonna get filled at this, unfortunately. So we got $83. All right, so did that, and now we're looking at the corn here. The corn position is doing fine. I'm gonna take this off around 55%, so I can get 50% after fees and commissions. This wheat position is not. This wheat position is barely up, and this is a hedge to the corn. This IWM position is basically flat, the whole thing. This right here is going to come off here soon. This is a broken wing butterfly hedge, and this right here is an iron condor that is still baking. And then we have this another QQQ position on. So if we go over here and we look at this 38 days to go, we're looking where we have the same kind of concept as that NQ. This is a 30 delta now. And so what I'm going to do is just move it a tiny bit. I'm going to do a roll away this time. So I'm buying this, selling this, buying this. So I'm just moving it down 1 point, moving it from a 30 delta to a 28 delta, just buying a little bit more time. And I'm going to hit send. It's going to cost me about $11 to do that. And if they fill me at that price, and probably not, let's get filled really quickly. Let's go to the 9, and it's going to be about $12. And even in this ETF that's very liquid, it's still making it difficult to get filled. It's 2 points. I am 2 points ahead. That's the mid there. Basically, they're claiming is the mid. I'm at the 9. So we're gonna have to give up a little bit more. I would normally let this come to me, but that's the 13. So now with since this is not optional in futures, I can move this up as far as I want in just one trade. So this is what we're doing now, is financing that $13 that we need. So we're going to go over here and roll this up, and I'm going to go, this is a hedge that we have right here. I'm going to go as high as the hedge, and I believe it's a 2-point wide spread. Let me see. That is, yes, it's a 2-point wide spread. So let's see if we can get that. We need $13. We're getting 29 here. Let's actually, I'm doing that wrong on time. That would not be good. All right, so we're buying this, selling that, and now we are going back to here, selling this and buying this, and that's going to give us 19. So let's see if we can get 19. Let's lock it in at 19 here for a second. So that gives like a $3 credit if we can get that. I doubt it. So we're going to try to 18, and it gives us a $2 credit to move that original one. And no love. So what we're going to do then, in this case, we're going to delete this, and then we're going to go back, and we're going to look at the canceled ones, and we're going to do a similar order so we can change these strikes. I'm going to move it up just a little bit more and see what I get there. All right, so I'm getting 20 now. Let's see if I can get filled. And no love. All right, so we're gonna cancel this one more time, and we're gonna hit a similar order, and then we're going to drop this down a little bit. I'm gonna try the same thing I did before. I'm going to do a 3-point wide spread instead of a 2-point wide spread, and we're going to see if we can get filled like that. All right, so we need $13. I'm going to move this down to the 24, and we're going to see if we can get, come on, we're going to see if we can get a couple of dollars here, or they're going to make me go a little lower. So, all right, perfect. All right, so that is the adjustment that we made. We are now at the 28 on this. As you can see, this is a 3-point wide spread. So when I moved that other side to a 3-point wide spread, it actually increased the buying power, if you was watching that, because I kind of equalized the risks on each side, and so we got a decent credit. We got $7 based on what we were doing. All right, so everything else is looking pretty good. These deltas, as you can see right here, are very, very flat, and we just adjusted it and made it a little better. So there we go. Even though this market is going up quite a bit, I was looking at doing the RTY this morning, and because it was down 14, I wanted to get some long deltas, but it did not. It's basically flat now. So what I'm going to do is do a skewed. I'm going to see what it does to my to the buying power, but do a skewed iron condor. So go to this 7 delta here on the near 7 delta. Do a 30-point wide. So that would be just doing something smaller. So that would be here. And then if I go to the call side, and as I say, because I believe things are up too much, and I'm going to do the 15 delta here, sell the 15 delta, buy 30 points higher, and that's going to require about $658 in buying power. I don't want to use that much. I like the max potential loss. I like the credit of 290 before fees and commissions, but let's see which side is causing more buying power. So let's see if we move this in like that. What does it do to the buying power? So that dropped the buying power to 723. Still getting over 200. Let's see if we do anything to the call side. Excuse me, the put side. Bring this in there. Does it do anything to the buying power? Let's bring it in a little bit more. It's not doing much, but you still get the 160. Let's see what happens if we bring the call side in just a tiny bit more, and it brought it down to 250. So brought it down to 250. It's still skewed a tiny bit, still more on the call side. If we go like that, still getting 110. Let's look and see what happens after fees. I don't want to do that. I want to get at least 100. So we go over there, and it's only 250 on the trade. I'm getting 116 on here. That's send this, and I will try one. I will lower it once, and then I'm going to let it stay. I've adjusted a lot of that stuff today already. So let's see if we unlock this, and let's move it to 50. Come on. All right. So that's not working. You have to type it in. All right. So let's type it in. Let's lock it. And all right. So still 111. We'll send and see if we get filled. If we get filled, you'll see it on the next time we do a pop-up live trading or something like that. But that is the trade I'm trying to do. If I get filled, I will take about $30 of that, and I will hedge it in the IWM. Right now, I am not filled. So we go to activity and we look at that. Let's remove that and just hit, let's remove that. Just look at the working here. This is the only one working. That is the price we have in. This is the mid. So we could get filled any second now. All right, so any questions before we conclude this live pop-up trading? Any questions? I know, Brittany, that was a great question, why I wanted to roll up and didn't just sit there. It's okay to sit there. You don't have to do anything until if it's your initial trade, until it hits the 35, and then you'll just roll out on that tested side. But I like to adjust my deltas when I get close to a 30 or a little over a 30, and before I have to roll out. So that's why I did that. But it's not a wrong or right answer if you decided just to wait. Just to give you a little more clarification on that, Brittany. Any other questions before we conclude? All right, let me check to see this. All right, so that was Brittany. All right, so if we don't have any more questions, I thank everyone for joining. This time I'm gonna add this one to YouTube, and so you'll be able to see this a little later if you want to review it and ask some questions after that. Thanks everyone for joining. Talk to you soon.